This is the Weekend Hustle. Everything you missed this past week we thought you should know. Brought to you by The First Read.
I would like to see the end of fossil fuel if that's going to make me live a longer life, breathe clean air, drink clean water. Yes, they could shut it down.
Judge James D. Cain, a Trump appointee, ruled against residents of a stretch of parishes along the Mississippi River known as Cancer Alley, an epicenter of petrochemical manufacturing in the U.S., with disproportionately high rates of cancer that specifically affects a predominantly black community. According to Human Rights Watch, the fossil fuel and petrochemical industry in this Louisiana area has devastated the health, lives, and environment of residents. All this is laid out in their latest report on the 85-mile stretch of communities along the banks of the Mississippi River between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, where communities exist side by side with some 200 fossil fuel and petrochemical operations. A judge ordered Wednesday that a trial be held next month to determine whether Texas high school student Daryl George can continue being punished by his district for refusing to change a hairstyle he and his family say is protected by a new state law, the Crown Act. He has not been in his regular classroom since August 31st. Instead, he has either been serving an in-school suspension or spending time in an off-site disciplinary program.
But it's so embarrassing and weird that we can't just have a normal primary. I love South Carolina. I'm glad that South Carolina is going first. But there's something wrong in a party where you have this much discontent with the candidate and nobody can figure out a way to vote or do anything that counts or send a signal or send up a smoke signal, get a carrier pigeon, do something and listen to the fact that people in this party are very worried that Biden's not the right person. And so, and by the way, he can't give a speech now because his kids are so upset. In 1968, there was an unpopular war with very scary images, and it mobilized a generation and hurt Democrats in '68.
California House Representative Barbara Lee is running for California's open U.S. Senate seat. Lee is the only woman of color and the most progressive candidate running in the race. However, she faces tough competition, as she's been struggling in recent polls. In Pennsylvania, the other representative, Representative Summer Lee's campaign, is expecting an onslaught of spending from pro-Israel groups, The Intercept reported. Lee's campaign announced Thursday it had raised over $1 million, dwarfing typical fundraising numbers in Democratic primaries. Another major target of the American Israel Public Affairs Committee this cycle is New York's 16th Congressional District Representative Jamal Bowman. His primary challenger, George Latimer, received a direct endorsement from AIPAC last week. Here's more from Representative Bowman with the Griot.
Historically, throughout our history in this country and globally, whenever people of color, whenever black men, whenever black women speak up and push back against a system that's unjust, the system is going to push back. So this is AIPAC pushing back, and this is, them as a, actor mostly for a foreign country, trying to control our democracy completely, which is unbelievable, and the entire country should be pushing back on it.
In sports, as the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers prepare for the Super Bowl, history has been made this season as a record number of 7 black head coaches are currently leading teams in the NFL. Jerod Mayo, New England Patriots; Antonio Pierce, Las Vegas Raiders; Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons; DeMeco Ryans, Houston Texans; Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers; Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Bucks; Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins.
We know that was a lot. Be sure to tune in each weekend for all the Black news you missed on Patreon. Upgrade for exclusive coverage and analysis. The First Read. See for yourself.